Nasir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I can hear you.
Right. So today we are going to work with the introduction part of the database administration, that is SQL Server. So basically, SQL Server database administration means it is pure supporting role. So we are going to support different databases and database servers. So now support means what type of activities we are going to perform. That is also really important for us. So now there are two different tasks for database administrator. Number one, configurations and monitoring. Right. Number two, ticket-based work. So these two are the major activities we are going to perform in the admin part. Coming to configurations part. For example, we installed SQL Server in a machine. Same way, in the same machine, you created some database like this. Okay. So now we stored, assume that we stored data in this database. Okay. So after that, generally what we do, we need to provide some security for this data. So how we are going to provide security? In the form of backup. If you are taking backups from the database, then what happens? If you lost database, then you can restore database from the backups. That is the reason generally why we go for backup. Backup means what? Copy of the data. Okay. So generally what we do, we are going to schedule this backup because every day we cannot do it manually. And you have to sit and execute this script. These things, I don't think so. So now what we do, we are going to schedule this task. Scheduling means what? Job creation. I'm sorry, guys. There is some issue with my throat. I'm suffering with cold and cough. Please don't mind. So now coming to next step. For example, you scheduled backup, and you created backup job. So what happens if that scheduled time comes? Automatically backup will be generated. This is what happens general scenario. Now just assume that your backup job is failed. Then what happens? What happens? It will not generate back, right? So here important thing is you configured backup job. After that, what to do? Every day you have to monitor that job, whether it is working fine or not. Okay, no? If job is working fine, then no problem. Otherwise, what to do? You have to work with the resolution. Suppose job is failed, you need to find out why the job is failed, and then you need to go for resolution. So this type of things we have. So your important thing is configuration and even troubleshooting is also no need to worry, and because suppose you created backup job today. After that, whenever you are going to create backup job, same steps will be there, right? Same steps, nothing is going to change. In the same way, today job failed due to some network issue. You're taking help from network team and you are resolving the issue. After some time, the job is failing due to same issue, same resolution will be there. Am I right or not? Okay. So your important point is practical knowledge is required. That is the thing we need. Because maximum DBA is going to work in support environment. So that's why if you know practical scenario, then only you can resolve the issues. If you don't know practical scenarios, you cannot resolve the issues. That is the problem. Got it? So coming to next step. Now, ticket based. So ticket based means that is pure supporting. For example, you are maintaining some database server like this. So you are working with some project, you are maintaining databases means some users will be there. Suppose there are some users. Users are going to access this database. So while they are accessing database, generally they face some issues. Different issues like connection issues, or else they are running some query. Query is taking long time for the execution. How to resolve it? This type of issues. These are all really important for us. Okay. Na? Suppose user is facing any issue, then what they do, they're going to raise the ticket. They're going to raise the ticket to DBA team. For example, you are a DBA. This is our team. Now user is facing some issue in this database. So user will send a ticket to DBA team like this. So what is this ticket? I'm sorry. Ticket means what? So whatever the issue they are facing, or else whatever the error they are facing, they are going to send it to your DBA. Now our role is we have to accept this ticket in the beginning. Okay. Then resolve the issue and close the ticket. These are the steps we are going to perform. Okay. Initially, every day we receive some tickets, we are accepting those tickets, then we are resolving and closing this issue. So this is what we do generally. I'll take some examples so that you'll get more scenarios here. For example, user facing some issue, unable to connect to SQL server. User trying to connect to SQL server, but they're unable to connect. They raise a ticket. Here, we will get error message and error code. Of course, we also call it as error number. Okay, na? Error message and error number. We have to check that. Because we don't know what type of issue they are facing. There are different reasons for connectivity issues, right? Suppose error number is showing like 18456. Okay. 18456 error means invalid login or password.
So this 18456 is just a hypothetical number here, or it's actually the error code in
This is
the
error
SQL
code.
server?
Error code, standard error code, it will not change. Okay.
Okay.
So now the thing is, if the issue is like a user is while connecting to SQL server, user is providing invalid login name or invalid password, then they will get 18456 error. Okay. So this is standard. So now what to do? You have to work with the user. ask them to provide a proper login name and password so that they can connect it to SQL. So after that, whenever you are getting same kind of ticket like 18456 error number, the same issue and the same resolution. This is the advantage of working with the DBA. And here important thing is we will work with SLA based ticket, service level agreement. Basically this is an agreement between your company and client. So based on SLA, ticket priorities and resolution timings will be defined. See, different companies will maintain different SLAs and resolution timings, but I will give you some scenarios. Suppose P1 ticket. You received P1 ticket. Immediate resolution required. Okay, you have to resolve it immediately. P2 ticket, you can take 48 hours time for the resolution. P3 ticket, you can take 4 days time for the resolution. P4 ticket, you can take 1 week time for the resolution. See that we have different priorities. Based on priorities, different tickets. And even resolution time is also important for us, right? Okay, you have to resolve the issue within the given time period. That is important. So if you want to do all these scenarios, then what is required? Practical knowledge is required. If you don't know practical and you know only theory, then you cannot handle this situation. Right? You cannot work with the tickets. This is what the scenario. Okay. So now when I'm giving introduction of this SQL, some people ask me like, are you going to cover any real-time scenarios? See, right from the beginning, everything is real-time only. For example, you take SQL Server installation, that is real-time only, right? Okay. Because today you are installing SQL Server standalone in your laptop. After that, whenever you are going to install SQL Server standalone, same steps will be there. That will not change. Right? And same database creation, logins creation, jobs creation. Okay, so these are all common steps. We are only going to perform all these things. Okay, so next step, what are the other teams will be there with us? So you are from DBA team, general scenario I'm giving. Application support team will be there. And network team, OS platform team, and storage team. So like this, we are going to work with the different teams in the same project. Okay. I'm sorry. They're also there in the support only because so there is some project. Project means what is mandatory? Tell me application and database mandatory. Right. And where a DBA, you're going to support databases. Then somebody must be there like to support application, right? So will be their application support team. So network is also important here. Like so if network is there, then there will be no connectivity between different servers, right? So network team, operating system team. We call it as like a storage team. Disk allocation, so deallocation, so adding more disk to the databases. These are all sometimes if required. These are all will be done. So like this, what happens, we are going to, we are DBA team, we are working with the DBA tickets. Along with that, we are also working with other teams to resolve some issues. Okay. So this is really important for us. Right, guys? So now the thing is, we are going to start with the installation of the SQL Server. So you are going for installation means some prerequisites will be there. Am I right or not? Huh?
Yep.
Software requirements, hardware requirements, different things will be there. So we have to fulfill all of them. Then only we can go for remaining scenarios, right? So I prepared some documents for the practice, like material I will share. And we are recording this session. We will share recordings also, right? But thing is, how to practice? Don't worry, if you have Windows operating system laptop, Windows 10 or Windows 11, we can install SQL Server in your laptop only. Okay? So that we can go for practice, right? So now I'm going to share like what are the topics I'm going to cover in this training. So basic things we are going to discuss in the beginning, like how we are discussing today, right? What is client server architecture? These are all basic things. Basic things we'll discuss. From here, our actual task is going to start. SQL Server installations, requirements and all. So then architecture is important. Suppose you're executing something in SQL, how they are going to execute inside your database server. That is architecture part. Then configuration settings, how transactions are going to commit and roll back. Then database creation. This thing is, so these are all common scenarios only, backup planning, then restore. Up to this level is different. But migration onwards, again, this is different scenario. Migrating databases from server to server. For example, development to QA, development to production or QA to production, because we are going to work with the different environments in the project, right? That we do by, we need to move databases, transfer databases from server to server. That we call it as migration in our SQL environment. Then upgrade, for example, lower version to higher version of the SQL server. How you are going to upgrade your databases, database servers and all. Then disaster recovery plan and high availability implementation. And that means just you are going to create some duplicate environment for production. From here, replication, log shipping, mirroring. Here, up to this level, up to always on, how many topics there? 1, 2, 3, 4 topics. These are almost similar topics. Okay. Nowadays, we are not using log shipping, but still we will cover log shipping in this training and will work with log shipping configuration. What are the prerequisites and how to configure and what are the issues we face in that configuration? Means, for example, today you configured something. Tomorrow onwards, you're going to monitor it, right? At the time of monitoring, what type of issues we're going to face? And what is the resolution for those issues? I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So these are all really important for us. In the same way, this is something different, just simple thing only. These are all. But here, this point is important. Performance tuning and troubleshooting. Most of the tickets we are going to receive from this area. I told you, right? Every day we will receive some tickets from the client and we are going to work with them, right? Yes. Okay, na? So now the thing is, most of the tickets we are going to receive from this area, no doubt at all. Okay, na? So here only we are going to work with the different scenarios. I mean, scenarios in the sense real-time oriented only. Real-time oriented scenarios only we are going to practice here. These are all really important. And here important point is, as I told you previously, we are working with some queries related issues. Suppose user is executing some query. Query is taking time for the execution. Then they will raise the ticket. Okay. Na? Then they will raise the ticket. In this scenario, you are going to resolve the issue. See, in this case, if you don't know what is query, then how can you resolve the issue? You cannot, right? That means you should know what is query at least. What is query, why we are using queries, this part. So this part is purely comes under development. What is our course? Our course is DBA, administration. Database administration. But development is different. But queries part is queries like it's part of development. Now the question is, do I need to learn development? No need. No need any. Because so that area like queries part, like basically what is query, how it works, those things I'll cover in this training. So you no need to worry about those things. Here in this topic only, I mean in this training only, we are going to cover queries part, developmental related scenarios, like what is index, what is stored procedure, why we are using stored procedures. These are all will be covered. They're all from development only, but still I will cover all of them. Okay. So this is what the overall content we have. It takes around 5 weeks for me to complete this overall training. Weekly 5 sessions will be there. Okay. Monday to Friday. If weekdays, if you are missing any session, we will schedule it on weekend as per your availability. Okay, this is what the overall plan. But actually, I plan to run this session for 1 hour. But my throat is not supporting, guys. So please don't mind. Now I'll stop here and now tell me if you have any questions, please.
So no major question, just one question. Do we need to know the query as well?
Better
Like,
to
because
know the query because you received some query. You are going to resolve it. In that case, you are going to analyze it, right? What is
Correct.
query? What is the thing that we need to analyze it before going to resolve it? We are going to analyze this thing. So analysis purpose, what happens, if you know query, you can go for better analysis, right? Because see, your important point is, guys, like, there are multiple reasons for the long running queries. Suppose query is taking long time for the execution. Okay, so there are different reasons for that. So here, if you know the query scenario and if you know how to analyze the scenario, then it will be easy for you to understand that what is the exact issue and what is the resolution for that. So even this training also we are going to do in that way. Okay. Trini, Nasser, Sadiq, any questions, please?
Sir, which version we will install?
2022 is the latest version. If you have Windows 11 operating system, we can install 2022 SQL Server. If you have Windows 10 operating system, we can go for 2019 SQL Server installation. Okay.
Yeah. This is,
So I have a MacBook. Can I don't know if that
MacBook
will
means
work.
we have to install VMware. On top of VMware, we have to go for Windows and SQL installation. Virtual machine concept.
Okay.
Right. Any questions, anybody, please?
Is there a set of queries that we have to go through, or I mean, is it a standard query, or like every database will have different kind of queries depending on the data?
Based on data, query will not change, but query condition will change. Okay.
Okay.
So that also we will discuss. Sadiq, any questions? Rini?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm closing it for 35 minutes only for today because of throat issue. We'll continue tomorrow then. Bye.
No, get well soon. We'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, sir. Bye.